Okay. So once again, excellent work, Johnny. Second of all, why that one? Of all the stupid crap we say. It's not worth trying to know. That's why that's why even the biggest comics still do open mic night, because there's only one thing that's funny. It's whatever the audience laughs at. And guess not, that way lies madness. Just check. Somebody tell me a joke and I'll tell it, and then I get money instead. You introduced me to it. I saw him. They were untangling.
Yes.
And they can see us. You know that they can see us. I looked way too concerned while singing that song. America! I'm Zach Nanimus.
This here's Johnny Dim.
And we're doing something a little different. We're doing a supplemental episode. This is because we're playing Metal Gear Solid 2 live on stream. We do that every Sunday as close to 9:30 as humanly possible. But Johnny's not a real one. He's not down with the Metal Gear. And so I'm constantly referencing things that happened in the previous game because I know Warlocks, I know about Metal Gear, and so and you know that it's an iterative story. Well, not iterative, but it builds upon itself. And Johnny just doesn't know anything about it, so this is my opportunity to like fix him. I
You-
guess would be
You
the
can
nomenclature.
you can try.
I will. What is okay? So I asked Johnny to surprise me with what game we're playing. I've never seen this before.
You never seen this before? Have you never played it before? Never?
That's what I just said. What is it?
It's Vampire Survivors.
I don't know what that is. It looks really cool, but I don't know what it is.
It's fantastic, and it's made by one Italian man.
One Italian man? Is that a studio out of Anchorage?
You know, I didn't ask.
Okay.
No, but I think it's just one guy, and he made this game. So okay, so this is why I got so excited, because I've played a lot of this game. I got really excited when I saw that the Steam Deck was coming out, so I bought a Steam Deck when they first came out, right?
Yeah,
And
you got
then
26K.
yeah, and I was like,
In the
this
game.
is fucking great. Yeah. So what I did was I didn't know what to play on it, and I was like, oh, people say this is good, and this has been out for a few months already, and I downloaded it, and then I played it. It's the only
That's the normal way that goes.
course of action. Yeah. But the thing is, I didn't play anything else. I only played this for like months and months on my Steam Deck.
Interesting.
And what's great about it, at least especially if someone's like a gaming parent,
I'm
is
so worried we're just gonna say normal video game stuff. The best thing about it is that when you press buttons, your character does stuff.
you have no idea. Well, actually, the button configuration is actually. Here's the thing. There are no buttons.
There what?
There's really no buttons. It's you're really just using the joystick.
Okay, that's cool.
That's essentially it, unless you're like selecting power ups. But during the actual like combat, you're only using the joystick. So it's super simple. At the time, I was this was before Willow was born. So my son was still very young, and so I could only do really short play sessions. And a play session for this game is maximum 30 minutes.
Interesting. Well, so we should start. We're doing that thing.
Yeah. Sorry.
In the menu, but two things. I can see your menu bar, or I can see your window bar, and also everybody can see your gamer tag. I don't know if you care.
No, I saw that. I think that's fine.
Okay.
I'm not worried about it.
All right. Okay, so Metal Gear, Willow's birthday.
Yeah.
Start the game.
Okay. Let's see if I can get this. I know you said start the game, but oh, you know what? I probably just need to unplug the controller and plug it back in. That's usually what I.
This is more starting of the game than we were at. We're so much closer.
There it is. Okay, I got it. Okay, so you only start the game with I think 3, or is it no? Yeah, I think it's 3 characters. So this is all the ones I've unlocked. There's more to go. But just to give you an introduction to the game, I'm just gonna do the original Whip Boy.
Well, so let's say that we are absolutely starting the Metal Gear. We're absolutely starting the Metal Gear discussion in 5 minutes. No more than 5 minutes.
Okay.
No, 3 minutes. So if you're watching this now, you can advance 3 minutes.
Yep.
Everything before that is going to be discussion about Vampire Survivor. You know, in case you tuned in just for that, we'll see.
Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna try to do the Mad Forest, which is the first level, and try to beat it with somebody I haven't beaten it with, but I've beaten it with everybody. Okay. It doesn't matter.
Well, you got to pick Llama.
Who?
Llama.
Oh, this guy or girl? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, they're trying to challenge me. We're just gonna go to a basic level.
She's covered in armor and carrying a battle axe. Does she not have an advantage?
No, probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what her. So you'll see. It's a every single person gets their own.
That may be mixed a little high.
Yeah,
That feels mixed a little high.
I'll get it. I'll get it. Okay, there we go. Pause that. Yeah, the music's pretty dope.
The music's making me feel things.
It should.
The music's making me feel like I could achieve anything. Like I could get into high finance.
Alrighty.
Okay, Metal Gear Solid,
Do it.
1998. I can't remember. Okay, Metal Gear Solid, for the PlayStation 1. Okay, it is a soft reboot of the Metal Gear franchise, which I believe was it was made like we have NES versions of those games, but I think it's either the ZX Spectrum or it's something. I'll look at them say it's an older console that was more popular in Japan. It was also much more powerful than the NES, so they could
Wait.
actually do cool stuff with it.
Are you talking about the it starts with an F, right?
The Famicom?
Yeah.
No, that's just the Japanese name for the normal NES.
Gotcha.
All right. Either way, none of like those games are not relevant to 1 or 2. Really, we don't really start talking about them again until 4. Maybe 3. We'll see. I don't know. Either way, Metal Gear Solid. You play as Solid Snake, the legendary mercenary. That was never his job. I don't know why people call him that. He was the hotshot rookie from Foxhound, a covert special forces unit that was actually founded by the CIA.
We should emphasize. I don't know if you said this yet. That you're doing this all from memory.
I am doing this all from memory.
Okay.
Okay. After the events of the first and second Metal Gear games, which both end in him confusingly killing Big Boss. Like he kills Big Boss, and then he goes back and he kills him again.
And Big Boss is his dad?
Huh?
Big Boss?
You're not supposed,
Am I not supposed to
you're
know
not
that?
supposed to know that yet.
You
You're not
told me.
supposed to know that
You
yet.
told me that. I remembered. I think that's a good thing for me.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Big Boss is his dad.
Okay.
Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
All right. So, after the events of both those games, the second of which he actually had to kill his best friend and former comrade, Frank Yeager.
Okay.
He goes and he starts living in Alaska.
And this happens in the game, or is this
This is
before?
backstory.
Okay, before the game.
How you learn all this is actually with a set of videotapes that you can access in the game. You can watch because they videotape his interrogation because Foxhound kidnaps him.
Okay.
Colonel Campbell, your buddy from Metal Gear Solid 2, who's in charge of Raiden.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kidnaps Snake.
Why?
Because Snake is the only man for the job.
Can you?
There's a new job. He's
What?
got to do it.
If usually you want me to do a job, you usually just hire me.
Yeah, but Snake would have refused because he wasn't interested in being a super spy anymore.
I think he just needs a good lawyer then. 'Cause-
Well, that's good luck to him on that one because he was already kind of stranded in Alaska and then he was kidnapped by the CIA. So that's like double stranded in Alaska. You can't be more helpless.
Gotcha.
Okay.
He was like Jeremy Renner in the Michael Bourne spinoff.
Your words, not mine.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I take my word for it.
Okay. Either way, So they kidnap him, and they're like, "You're the only man for the job." And of course, Snake loves Roy, so he
course.
doesn't really take it personally
Okay.
that he was kidnapped and strip searched.
Sure.
This is just something that happens to Solid Snake every once in a while. So Snake reiterates that he's not interested in being a super spy anymore until he learns that the job is an active situation. A terrorist group has taken control of a nuclear waste management facility in which is also in Alaska, called Shadow Moses Island. And why he's so interested, and why Snake is like, oh yeah, I'm definitely doing this, is because the terrorist organization is Foxhound.
That's who he worked for.
That was his former unit. Of course.
And this unit connected to the United States military?
No, they're CIA.
Okay. But it's government organization.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, they went rogue, and they took over Shadow Moses Island, and then they made a demand of several $1 billion. I think it was $20 billion. And they also demanded the remains of Big Boss. They want his body.
Because they're going to make a zombie out of him.
Just you wait.
Oh,
all
God.
right, so you're wrong. I'll go ahead because you sounded like that was really gonna make you mad.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so that is incorrect.
Okay.
All right. So, he's and I forgot, he wasn't all that excited. He was like, "Oh, that's bad, but come on, it's a nuclear weapon. It's a nuclear dumping ground in the middle of nowhere." And Roy was like, "Yeah, about it being a nuclear dumping ground in the middle of nowhere. That's the public version of what Shadow Moses Island is.
No
it's
way.
actually where we're housing a new kind of Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. Yeah, the next generation of Metal Gear that'll be able to destroy the whole world." So Snake is tasked with three major things. They have two hostages. Kenneth Baker, the president of Arms Tech, which is the largest arms dealer in the country.
Okay.
And the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson. And he also needs to seek out, disable the terrorist unit, find out whether or not they have the ability to launch a nuclear weapon, and if so, stop them from being able to do so at all costs.
Of course.
Because Metal Gears can always launch nukes. That's their thing.
Okay.
So Snake says yes. They give him all kinds of super high-tech stuff, a special sneaking suit, a special anti-freezing peptide so that his blood literally won't freeze, and a codec which allows him to communicate to anybody completely silently. However, they don't give him a gun. They refuse to give him a gun because it would raise too many alarms. Because when you ask the government for a gun, it costs money and there's a receipt, and so we're not doing that.
Okay.
The explanation is that all the cool stuff that they have for him was created for him by people on the team. The anti-freezing peptide was made by and other nanomachines that are inside of his blood were all created by a geneticist named Naomi Campbell, who you can radio in for advice. And his Soliton radar and codec communication system were created by a woman named Mei Ling, who acts as your saving screen, just like Rose does in 2. All right. Either way, he goes to Shadow Moses. Oh, and by the way, the current leader of Foxhound.
Yes.
is a guy who also has his code name, which the code names are important. They don't explain why they're important. They just say, "Oh, he has your same code name, Snake. He goes by Liquid Snake, and he also apparently is identical to you in every way except he has blonde hair." And Snake is like, "Awesome. I'm going to cut my hair so that nobody confuses me with the bad guys."
Okay.
And I don't know why he did that. Because he could just have dyed his hair blonde and just look like Liquid the entire time and give people orders.
I would love to see if like someone's actually asked Kojima these questions.
Right. So he's rooting around in there. I mean, lots of stuff happens, but a lot of it's just like shooting guards, and I don't know. There's stuff that's not germane to the story. He's sneaking around in the vents. He's in the detention area, and he sees a woman doing ab crunches. Her name's Meryl. We'll talk about her later. He's just up in the vents. He can't help this person.
Okay.
And he's not supposed to anyway. She's not part of the mission. That's not why he's here. And then he sees the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson. He goes in there, and Donald starts asking him really weird questions. He starts asking if the terrorists have the ability to launch a nuke, and Snake is like, yeah, isn't that why we're here? Like, yeah. He's like, really? They have the ability to launch a nuke? What are they gonna do? How are they gonna do it? And he's like, normal style. They have a Metal Gear. Are you okay? You feeling okay, buddy? And then he just straight up dies of a heart attack right then and there. Not Snake. Donald Anderson. Donald Anderson dies.
Right.
All right. So before he dies, Donald gives him a key card so that he can explore more of the place, and tells him where he can find Kenneth Baker, which is downstairs in the basement area. He goes looking for Kenneth Baker, and he finds him in this like underground like torture chamber.
Okay.
He's not tied to anything, but there's detonation cord all around him. There you find Revolver Ocelot. Revolver Ocelot has been interrogating this person. He broke his arm and then put him up against a pillar and then put detonation cord all around him and rigged the entire room to blow. And he was like, "Stand there until you die or tell me what I want to know." And so that's where you find him. Then you fight Revolver Ocelot. Revolver Ocelot, the best sharpshooter in Foxhound, is defeated by you pretty easily. And that's when you learn that he uses the Cult Single Action Army, which is something I quote a lot. You've probably heard me say, "The Cult Single Action Army, greatest handgun ever made. 6 bullets, more than enough to kill anything that moves." And like he has to reload it because it's a revolver during the battle and it takes forever, and he's the worst. Nevertheless, you reduce his health to 0, and this triggers a cutscene which makes it seem as though it was a draw when you really beat him really, really easily. And so Revolver Ocelot's like, "You're pretty good, Snake, but I'm still gonna shoot you with the Cult Single Action Army." And while he's busy saying that, a cyborg ninja appears out of nowhere and chops his right hand off.
Is that the same ninja they talked about in 2?
The very same.
Oh boy.
All right. So this the cyborg ninja, he seems to know Snake. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, "We'll meet again on the battlefield, Snake." And then he leaves. Kenneth Baker informs the president of Arms Tech. He informs him, Snake, that he's not the only person who came here to save him. There's another operative, a woman named Meryl Silverberg.
Okay.
And that's the woman we saw earlier.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you want to get in touch with her, look for her you'll be able to find her her radio frequency on the back of the CD case.
Yeah.
Do you know about this?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Do you remember what it is?
No,
Like,
I know.
exactly?
No. I just know that there's something
Yeah. So
on
you
the
rack your brain.
yeah.
You rack your brain looking for the CD case in your inventory, and then you run around Shadow Moses trying to find an item called CD case, and you just can't.
Right.
It's because it's on the literature that's glued to the back of the jewel case.
Right.
There's a screenshot of Snake talking to Meryl on the codec, and the frequency is visible. Either way, he says go link up with Meryl. She knows the layout of this place a little bit better. And also, I'm having a heart attack. And then he has a heart attack and he dies. So 2 objectives down pretty early in the game. All right. So Snake goes to find Meryl, and he calls her a rookie, and they have to blow up a bunch of dudes together, and she doesn't trust him yet, and eventually she runs away. Although she does tell him where to find a dude named Hal Emmerich. Hal Emmerich is the designer of the new Metal Gear, so he has to go to a separate building inside this facility. He has to cross this snowfield that's got a bunch of mines in it, and when he's out there, he sees Vulcan Raven. Vulcan Raven is another member of Foxhound. His whole thing is that he uses a Vulcan cannon, which is a kind of gun that is usually attached to fighter jets.
What the hell?
But he's big enough to carry it himself. He's also big enough to carry a backpack full of infinite ammunition.
Of course.
He also is a Native American shaman who has control over ravens. This never comes up. Like he doesn't fight with ravens.
That's just some lore that you know.
I mean, he talks about it.
Okay. It just never actually, you just never actually see it happen.
Well, no, you see it happen. It's just not important.
Oh, gotcha.
Like we'll get to Sniper Wolf in a second. Sniper Wolf loving wolves is important.
Okay.
Vulcan Raven having literal control over ravens doesn't affect much of anything.
Gotcha.
Either way, Vulcan Raven is in a tank, and you have to blow up his gunner, and then after that, Vulcan's like, well, I guess I give up, and so he leaves. So you go to the new facility. You find Hal Emmerich. Hal Emmerich immediately insists that you call him. I'm sorry. The first thing he does when he sees you is he pees his pants.
Of course.
Because somebody pees their pants in every Metal Gear now.
God damn it! Really?
Yes, every Metal Gear. While Hal tells him that he didn't know that they had a functioning Metal Gear. This Metal Gear is called Metal Gear Rex. What's special about it is that it doesn't launch nuclear missiles. It fires nuclear bullets from a massive railgun attached to it.
These uranium bullets?
They're not dirty bullets. They have warheads.
Jesus. Okay.
But the thing is that they have no onboard accelerant. They're a bullet.
Right.
And this means that they avoid all kinds of conventional launch detection. It's a stealth nuke.
Yeah. Okay.
Bad times. While he's talking to Hal, the cyborg ninja shows up, and he's like, "Snake, I've met you on the battlefield before, and now we're going to fight again. I've died once. You're the only person who can bring me absolution." So they fight again. Snake punches him into submission, and then Ninja's like, "That was a pretty good fight, and it was pretty decisive. but we'll meet again, even though I just literally asked you to kill me. So he runs away. Hal Emmerich insists that you start calling him Otacon.
Okay.
He's like, well, my name's Hal, but I've always preferred being called Otacon because I love Japanese anime so much. He kind, in so many words, he says that, and he does call it Japanese anime.
Oh boy.
So, and it's the reason that he's a roboticist is because he loves anime. He loves mecha.
Gotcha.
So, he tells Snake that he didn't know what was going to happen, and he's like, oh wow, I just literally created a doomsday device. I created the thing that's going to destroy the whole world, so yes, let me help you try to stop it. And so he tells him Metal Gear Rex's weakness, which is actually kind of interesting. It doesn't have any windows. When you're operating it, it actually creates a VR environment for you in real time, because VR was kind of a hot button at the time. Everyone wanted everything to be VR, and so Hal Emmerich is actually like a VR, and like that's how they do the simulations for, like, that's how he created Rex, was through VR experimentation.
Okay.
So he says, but the thing's blind without this solenoid on the outside. If you could blow that thing up, then the pilot would be blind.
Okay.
And then you'd be able to destroy Metal Gear Rex. So, while this, eventually he's got to get to a different part of the facility, but something's blocked off. You got to go up to the. No, wait, you got to go find Meryl. And honestly, I'm not sure why.
Okay.
Her influence over the situation. I think she opens a door for you at one point, like because she's disguised as a guard. She was smart enough to pick up a guard disguise, and so she walks around now that you freed her all the time. And you guys are kind of traveling together as you go to the underground passage. But on your way to the underground passage, you find Psycho Mantis. And Psycho Mantis, his whole thing is that he's a telekinetic.
Okay.
And he loves hurting people because he hears people's most deepest, darkest thoughts, and he thinks all humans are disgusting as a result, and he just wants to hurt as many people as he can, and that's why he joined Foxhound. Either way, you can't beat this guy. He can read your mind.
Yeah.
So the answer, because you can't, he'll dodge all your bullets, he'll dodge every punch, and he'll give you a big punish every time you try it. If you call Roy Campbell and say, this guy's reading my mind, Roy Campbell will be like, no, he's reading your controller inputs. But he can't read the controller inputs for player 2.
Yes, I've heard of this.
Put it into player 2 and you're good to go. Mantis starts freaking out because he can't read your minds anymore, and then you kill him.
Cool.
You continue traveling with Meryl. There's another long passage. There's a set of landmines that are in this passage, and Meryl knows where they are, and it's kind of a cool little thing. Where you can see her footprints in the snow, but they'll disappear pretty quickly, so you need to like follow what she did, and part of its memory, part of its reflexes. None of that matters because you should have the mine detector by now. And it matters even less because if you crawl on the ground, you'll pick up a mine anyway. And then Meryl gets shot in the leg. Because on the other side of this very narrow passage, there's a woman named Sniper Wolf. Sniper Wolf is, I think she's Ukrainian, actually. And she, her superpower, so far, Vulcan Raven.
Yes.
Control over ravens.
Right.
Psycho Mantis. Telekinesis. Okay.
Okay.
Sniper Wolf. Obsessive compulsive disorder. This is her superpower.
Okay.
She, it said that she,
Oh no, you're frozen.
oh, I think I'm frozen.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, no, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Okay.
Am I choppy?
No, not now. No.
Um, so it said that she can wait hours, even days, without moving a muscle, waiting for her target to expose themselves so that she can shoot them. And she has this whole thing when she meets you. If she ever meets you face to face, she'll take her thumbnail, she'll cut you on the face, and she's like, "I have tasted your blood. Now, until I kill you, I think of nothing else." It said that she even sometimes falls in love with her targets because of how obsessive she becomes. She literally thinks about you all the time. She falls in love with you, and then you die.
So weird.
Yeah. So
And unhealthy.
yes, very. So they so you either get into a sniper duel. No, you have to go back and get the sniper rifle, because it slipped Otacon's mind
Okay.
that there was a PSG-1 in a locker downstairs. So you have to backtrack by the time, and she shoots Meryl like 3 times
Okay.
because she's waiting for Snake to come out from cover to save her so that she can kill Snake. So so you have to retreat. You go get the weapon. You come back. Meryl's gone.
Oh no.
By the time you come back, there's nothing but a greasy stain where she used to be, and you don't know what happened to her. Either way, you get into a sniper duel with Wolf. You win. You go down to the end of the corridor. You get seen by security camera. This is a cutscene. It can't be helped. It doesn't matter. Chaff. It doesn't matter. You get caught. Now you're taken away. Okay. You are now in the loving hands of Revolver Ocelot and Liquid Snake.
Okay.
Yeah. They keep going. They keep saying some shady stuff about how they don't know about the 3 keys and like how to get the nuclear, or they don't know about the 3 keys, but they say they still have the ability to launch a nuke or something like that. They're lying. This is all for Snake's benefit. So either way, they start torturing you. It's a whole thing where they electrocute you, and if you mash X fast enough, then you'll get your health back. But Ocelot tells you that if you fail, it's game over and no continues. He says that. He's like, if you didn't save, you're gonna be set back quite a bit.
How meta.
And what he doesn't tell you is that this actually affects the ending.
Okay.
If you survive this, but you can give up at any time. You'll do 3 rounds of torture, and if you survive all of them, you'll escape at the end with Meryl. If you give up at any point, you'll escape at the end with Otacon, which is actually the canon ending anyway.
Okay.
Well, I guess I think people say, because Meryl actually shows up in subsequent games, so I think people say that you leave with Meryl and Otacon just survived on his own.
Right.
I think that's what people say. I'm not sure. I like to think the opposite, because I think the ending is a lot stronger with Snake and Otacon because they had a much stronger connection
Right.
throughout the game. Nevertheless, that not to mention that in later games, Snake and Meryl do not end up together, and Otacon and Snake actually raise a child together. So that's the one true pairing. It's
Love
Snake
it.
and Otacon, Snake and Otacon for life.
That's great.
All right. So you survive the torture because it's not that hard. You're not allowed to use autofire. Revolver Ocelot mentions it. You escape your jail cell by talking to Otacon. Well, he comes by. He has a stealth camo suit that he didn't think to give you. Well, I think he may have offered it, but he offered to go back and get one. but you're kind of waiting on it. And Snake was like, "Yeah, I'm super sneaky. I'm not. You take it. I'm just invisible anyway. You'll get killed if you don't." Either way, he shows up and he's got a ration and some ketchup, and he's like, "I thought you might be hungry, Snake." So what you got to do is you got to lay down on the ground and then equip the ketchup. And when you do this, a pool of red liquid will start to come out from under you, and then a guard whose name is Johnny.
Oh, cool.
They don't tell you this in the game. He becomes a much bigger deal in Metal Gear Solid 4.
Okay.
More on that if we ever play that game.
Gotcha.
So, he comes in. What happened?
Game over.
Oh no. Okay. So he comes in. He's like, "Snake, you're dead. What happened? Shut up in there, will ya?" And then you pop up. You punch him in the face a couple of times. He goes down like a sack of bricks because he's Johnny. Johnny's just the butt of every Metal Gear joke from now on. This isn't the first time this has happened to him in this game. This when you before you find Meryl, you see a guy who's unconscious with the stars up above him, but he's down on the ground, unlike any other enemy in the game. His butt's straight up in the air, and they have to put a sensor grid over him because he's completely naked. And that's because Meryl stole his uniform.
Okay.
So this isn't the first time he's messed up today. Nevertheless, you break out of there. You get your stuff back. It's time to go. It's time to go deep underground in order to find Metal Gear. Before you do that, you're gonna have to cross a snowfield. Rematch with Sniper Wolf. You find out that Otacon fell in love with her because he's been living at this base for a while now. But Snake's got to kill her anyway, and it's this weird thing where like Wolf's in love with Snake, and Otacon's in love with Wolf, and Snake doesn't care about any of this. He's literally here to do a job.
We're still in the first game.
Yes.
Okay. Just checking. Just checking.
Okay. So, it's time to. Man, I don't even remember how you get the PAL key. I don't remember how you get the PAL key. Somebody gives it to you.
Okay, I got a question.
Yo.
Is the second game a lot shorter than the first one?
No.
Really?
It's longer.
Oh my god. Okay.
you're just trying to think of how much more you got to get through.
Yeah, because it sounds like there's a lot that could be coming. All right.
So you get the PAL key. I can't. It's somewhere. I think you go find it. And Otacon tells you that it's a temperature mimetic key. It's a temperature sensitive mimetic alloy, which means that it will actually change shape and structure depending on what temperature it's at. So you need to go find a super cold place, a super hot place, and a super room temperature place.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which means you need to backtrack to Metal Gear over and over again. Before this happens, rematch with Raven. This time he's got his cannon. If you've got plenty of C4, he's easy.
Cool.
because he runs around like an idiot in very predictable patterns, and so you just drop C4 on the ground and wait for him to walk over it. And he never learns his lesson.
Okay.
At some point, you fight Liquid. He's in a helicopter.
Okay.
It's a cool fight. It's how you first learn to use the personal shoulder-mounted surface-to-air missile system, also known as the Stinger, which you're going to need to know how to use it to fight Metal Gear. Either way, you fight. Rematch with Raven. You kill Raven. Before you learn that he's a champion of these like Northern Tribal Alaskan games. He's a champion of the Muktuk eating contest and the ear pull.
Okay.
Then you blow him up, and with his dying breath, he commands the ravens to eat him, bones and all. Um,
Wait, himself?
yes,
Why?
to return his essence to Mother Nature.
Oh, of course. What was I
right.
thinking?
You know what I was thinking? These birds are like 3 stories underground. What are they going to eat after they're done with Raven?
That makes sense.
Either way. So you got the little key puzzle. Vulcan was in the super cold place. And then there's a metal forge, and that's the super hot place. And then anywhere the first one you do is the room temperature one. When you do, because what this is supposed to do is the PAL key is supposed to deactivate Rex. You learn this from a conversation that you overhear Liquid and Ocelot having. Ocelot, he's a trooper. He just kept working. He just kept at his desk after losing that hand. Just walking around, big as life.
Nice.
Either way.
Nice.
Yeah, real dedication.
Yeah. It's almost like he's husband material.
Oh, he definitely is.
Yeah.
Wait till Metal Gear Solid 4, you will fall in love with him. And I'll tell you this for free. Because it's not framed this way. You look up almost any wiki, any article, Revolver Ocelot will be listed as an antagonist. That's just straight up not true. He's the real hero, and if Snake had stayed out of his way, everyone would have been better off.
Really?
Literally everyone on the planet.
Holy crap.
I'm not joking.
Wow.
Okay. Either way.
Yeah.
He overhears Liquid and Ocelot talking about how to use the PAL key, and so you solve the mystery of the PAL key, because you have to find the places that are cold, hot, and neutral on your own, and then you finally put in the hot key. The hot key is going to be the last one that you want to do, and this activates Metal Gear Ray,
which was not the intention.
They knew you were hiding behind that pillar, and they fed you false information.
What? That's crazy.
Because they didn't have the PAL key.
They got you.
They got you. All right. So now Metal Gear is active. And it's time to go blow it up. You go blow it up, but you blow up the solenoid and so now Liquid, who's inside of the Metal Gear, he has to open up the hatch to actually see where you are, because the thing's got a laser cutter on its underbelly, and it's got a minigun on one side, and one stomp, if you get underneath it, is game over no matter how much life you have.
Okay.
So it's a pretty decent boss fight. But the cutscenes suggest that this was closer to a draw.
Okay.
And then Cyborg Ninja shows up.
Oh, that douchebag.
Cyborg Ninja shows up. He brought a gun this time for some reason. And he jumps out and is oh, that's right. He shoots the solenoid. He finishes off the solenoid for you. He gets his arm cut off in the process because of that laser underbelly. And then Liquid actually does a karate kick with Metal Gear Rex, and's got him pinned to the wall. And so he's busy just trying to suffocate him against the wall because he's tired of it. I can't remember if it's before or after this point.
Okay.
Naomi Hunter. Your geneticist.
Yes.
She is a double agent.
No way.
Yes. You learned that the reason that the DARPA chief, Kenneth Baker, died. Donald Anderson died, and why the president of Armstead, Kenneth Baker, died.
All the heart attacks.
Of the heart attacks is actually because of a designer virus that you were meant to be the carrier for. Your real mission was to go talk to everybody involved and have them die. The virus is called Fox Die because it was made for the various members of Foxhound.
So why is she trying to eliminate Foxhound?
That was her job.
Yeah, but what's the purpose of that?
So that they'll all be dead, the terrorists will be dead, and everybody who knew about Metal Gear Rex will be dead.
So they're trying to hide Rex?
Precisely. What Naomi did is she went rogue and she designed the virus to also kill you.
Any particular reason?
She hates you.
Why?
Because Cyborg Ninja is her brother.
Okay.
The reason that he is a cyborg ninja is because his real name is Frank Yeager, codename Gray Fox, a member of Foxhound who you had to kill in the second game.
We're still in the first game though, right?
The NES games.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So you're all hopped up on Mountain Dew, giving people heart attacks constantly. You know that Cyborg Ninja is your friend.
Or was. Or is.
Before he became a Cyborg Ninja. Even though you killed him, like, and we talked about this on the Let's Play.
Yeah.
There's a mutual respect. Like, Frank was just hired to be your enemy. And Snake knows that, so he's like, yeah, okay, so we're enemies, but you know, we're still bros. So he's got Frank pinned up against the wall with the leg of Metal Gear Rex. He's going to die. But Snake has a clear shot on Liquid, doesn't take it.
Okay.
He can't bring himself to kill Frank for a second time.
Okay.
So then you get an immediate rematch with Rex, but with a different target because you're targeting the cockpit instead of the solenoid.
Okay.
It's and it's faster this time for some reason. So you drop its health to 0. The cutscene afterwards implies that you lost.
What?
And you've been taken prisoner by Liquid.
Okay.
And he's got at this point they've already launched a nuke in a rural area of China just to scare everybody.
Uh-huh.
Why? Because they were gonna blow up. I think they were gonna blow up Washington, but then they just didn't. No, they were always gonna do somewhere in China because they wanted to threaten everybody that they were gonna spark a world war. Nevertheless, you've destroyed Rex, but you've been knocked unconscious in the process. Liquid takes your shirt off, takes all your weapons away, climbs up to the top of Rex, presumably with you on his shoulder. You don't see this part.
Okay.
Sets you up on Rex. He's got Meryl with him. She's got C4 strapped to her chest. And he's like, "Brother, we are clones. We are clones of Big Boss. Our lives are not our own. We're nothing but puppets, weapons to be used by the government. And I intend to allow myself to be used. I want to create a new world where soldiers matter again. A world in constant conflict, where people like you and me actually have a reason to exist, brother."
Did he say brother a lot?
A lot.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah, they're both clones of Big Boss. However, it's. You ever see the movie Twins?
No, but I know of it. I know it's Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito as twins. Yeah.
Genetically, they're twins, but they're different.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay.
Exact same thing, because in the plot to Twins, Danny DeVito looks like Danny DeVito, and Arnold Schwarzenegger looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger because Arnold Schwarzenegger was given all of the dominant genes, and Danny DeVito was given all of the recessive genes.
Uh-oh.
This is exactly what happens to Liquid and Solid Snake. It
Great.
is the exact same thing.
Okay.
With Liquid getting all the recessive genes, as seen by his blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
However, they're completely identical, and he can actually get shot in the face way more than Snake can. So I don't know why he's complaining. He's like, "There's no way we're getting out of this. They're gonna scramble jets and blow up Shadow Moses. We're done here." But I'm still curious as to who would win in a fight. You know how everybody has that thought, like, if I met a perfect copy of myself, would we fight or would we make out?
Yeah.
Liquid actually knows the answer to that.
Did they make out?
He chose fist fight.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I strapped a bomb to Meryl. She's gonna be our sacrifice for our battle, because sometimes battles need sacrifices. I guess.
Why?
I don't know.
That seems so unnecessary.
So you fist fight on top of Rex. It's really hard unless you know the speedrun strategy, and then it's nothing. So you climb down off of Rex. You get your stuff back. You get a call over the radio. You're talking to Roy, and then all of a sudden, because it's all actually hand drawn, like anime style faces for the communicator, and it just kind of starts like blipping in and out with like static, and Roy's like, what no, and then there's some government official, I can't remember what his name is, and he's like, I'm taking over this job, Snake. The job's mine now, Snake. You're just gonna have to get blown up. I'm tired of everybody knowing where Metal Gear Rex is, and I'm gonna blow up everything.
Okay.
And so you're under a time limit to get off of the whole island.
Okay.
So you take Meryl. She finally comes to her senses. And you both start driving a Jeep down this really long hallway. It's a gunner sequence, and it's also a rematch with Liquid. Liquid will show up in his own Jeep. He's got an M4, and, just, and you're like, and you gotta shoot everybody. There's these really predictable parts where you have to turn your gun all the way to the left because you know that the car is gonna swerve all the way to the right. And if you're not prepared for that, then you're gonna spend a huge amount of time slowly turning the gun towards the guys, and you'll die. You're gonna do the sequence about 7 times before you think to click first person, because not every weapon has a first person mode. In fact, it's pretty rare.
Right.
But the sequence is impossible without first person mode. And you shoot Liquid in the Snake at least 30 more times. At least 30 more.
Okay.
You get to the end of the tunnel, he's still not dead.
Okay.
You both get into a pretty major car accident. You're outside on a cliffside. He's still not dead.
Okay.
In fact, he looks better than you do. You're kind of pinned under your car.
Great.
He's walking towards you, and he's like, I'm going to carry on the legacy of Big Boss, brother. Oh, he wanted Big Boss's remains because he and Snake are both imperfect clones.
You want to make another clone?
No, he wants to fix his own genetics.
Okay.
He wants to go back to the source genetics, because Big Boss was in his late 60s when they started creating his copies. We're drowning in time, brother. So they're going to. He heavily implies that they're going to age more quickly.
Okay.
And he wants to prevent that. There also, all the guards that you've been facing off with are next generation genome soldiers, which have undergone genetic therapy or gene therapy based upon research done by Naomi Hunter.
Yeah.
and their genes are all wacky because of that too. So he wants to save he wants to save both himself and his adopted family and the Genome Soldiers. It's actually not a terribly unnoble thing. He just did it in the most destroy the world way possible. So he's got you dead to rights. He's walking up to you with his M4. You're pinned under your car. Meryl is knocked out again. And then all of a sudden, he's like, Snake, no! Starts clutching at his chest. It's exactly like Sanford and
Heart
Son.
attack.
And he's like, Fox! And then Snake's like, die. And Liquid drops dead right there.
Cool.
You get a phone call from Campbell. He was like, yeah. Hey, I gotta go.
Okay.
Stop the stream. I heard a scream. I'm coming.
Well, hopefully that wasn't too serious. I'll stop the stream. I'm sure we'll be back on Sunday, 9:30. I guess. Hopefully. All right. Bye, everybody.